Welcome to today's presentation. I am a corporate pleb, and this is How to Corporate. In today's presentation, we're going to discuss the importance of having sales support. Sales reps are dominant. They knock on the doors, they cause phones to ring, they litter inboxes with offers. They are the front runners, and they see themselves this way. They are the winners and everyone else is a loser. Sales reps are notorious for having very large attitudes and very unashamed egos in the workplace. But are they the top dog? In a sales situation, is a sales rep actually the lead dog at all times? Almost every sales rep you ever run into will believe they are the number one in their field and they alone win a deal. A sales rep thinks that they are doing everything in a sale, and because of this, sales reps usually have a poisonous attitude. Now, some reps are doing everything, and if they are, well, then they deserve the attitude, and you shouldn't begrudge them. A good sales rep can have a holier-than-thou stance, and that's perfectly fine. Remember, sales reps are feeding the company. If they're good at what they do and no one else is bringing in the wind, then y'all should bow down and thank a sales rep today. You eat because they showed up to work. However, most salesmen, most saleswomen, most sales representatives are not deserving of that inflated ego that they generally all come with. Most sales reps are convinced they do everything and the client is an obstacle to get around. The majority of sales reps see themselves as islands alone, them versus the client. Now, the company employing a sales rep sees it similarly, but the company generally sees the sales rep as their champion alongside a cast of nameless support staff, and all of that is versus the client. The reality is more that the sales rep is a minor part of a sales effort, and most of the sale depends on the support staff framing that sale. The sales rep is really there to act as a liaison between the client and the rest of the company they are selling for. And most sales reps, even in this limited capacity of liaison, are barely pulling their weight. Most sales reps are actually never the lead dog. Most reps are filling a role and not leading the effort. A successful sales rep looks to perform their sales without getting others in their way. Too many cooks in the kitchen do spoil the broth. However, going it alone runs the risk of being on the hook for all failure. In a CYA scenario, this means if anything goes wrong, you have not set yourself up with any get out of jail free cards. So if a sales rep going alone stumbles on even one piece of a sale, they can ruin the entire deal. Every experienced sales rep knows that a single small event can ruin a deal. So if the sales rep is doing everything by themselves, they run that very real risk of screwing up the entire deal should they mess up anything. Here's an example that every seasoned sales rep has seen. The old incorrect pronunciation deal killer. If you accidentally mispronounce a client's company name, your entire sales process is 100% over from that moment onward. I've seen it happen. It is not pretty. Anyone who's been in sales long enough has seen someone fumble over a client's name and absolutely ruin everything from that point forward. Clients are that petty. One unintentional slip can ruin the whole deal. So if the sales rep runs everything by themselves and they have no one else to help or insulate them from a mistake, they run that risk of losing a deal because of a small detail, and it all came down to them. A sales rep working alone has to watch all the angles and not mess up anything, and even then, they might not win. Seems like a high-risk model for success. A better model is for the sales rep to really be the project manager of a deal, for them to chair the sale and lead, but not own 100% of the process from cold call to signature. Having a sales rep responsible for all aspects of a sale is setting up for low win rates and high attrition. It makes sales reps more stressed, their role more convoluted, and company sales hinge upon the cumulative performance of a single individual. A sales rep responsible for lead generation, demonstrations, proving value, technical deep dives, review of account management and customer service models, and general review of what a client's life would look like once they sign on the dotted line is a ticking time bomb. The entire experience of being a client from start to finish is something a sales rep has to completely describe on the front end with a combination of facts, theory, and a delicate theatrical presentation. And most sales reps do this all alone. It's the very model of all your eggs in one basket. A successful company sees the problem here. It's immediately apparent that sales reps need to be part of a sale and not the entire sale. Strangely, this is usually not the case. Usually a sales rep is left to fend for themselves. And yet, on the other end of the spectrum, post-sale, it is common practice that when a potential client has been sold by the singular alone sales rep, well, once it's transitioned over, all of a sudden there's an army of support that comes into play. So once a sale is achieved by an overworked sales rep, then all the experts in support crawl out from under various rocks. You have personnel from contracting, implementation, account management, customer support, and ongoing infrastructure catering to a client, and all of those aspects are chaired by different individuals or teams. So why is it when we look at client relations, many companies leave the sale to a salesperson alone? And then once that sale is made, all of a sudden 50 people come out and help after the heavy lifting is done. The sales process needs more than just the sales rep to succeed, and often they are left alone. So this is where the notion of pre-sales support comes into play. Support staff assist the salesperson who is really just the chair with actually getting that sale done. Some companies will have a pre-sales support model as their process. Many will not. Many leave the sales rep to their own devices. Now, if you're a sales pleb, if you're in a sales chair because you won out in the interview process and once in that seat everyone is looking at your performance with a hard eye, if you are a sales rep who wasn't gifted a seat, you need to make sure you're not going it alone and you have support. If your company doesn't have support staff for you already, you need to develop a support network on your own. No one will do this for you. No one will give you permission to do this either. If your management structure doesn't already have support embedded to help your sale that is at your disposal, then you will never get your management to understand the need for it. So don't even try. Instead, just create your own support staff off the record if you don't already have people earmarked to help you. You will need the following gang to help you succeed. You'll need someone for lead generation and qualifying, someone to do the cold calling for you so you don't have to spend all your time begging people for a demo who don't want what you're selling. A warm lead is always better than a cold call, so you need someone to generate leads to pass to you. You're going to need someone for data and marketing, so someone to provide the numbers that underline what you're actually selling and what you are performing at, and a person to also provide you materials that augment your sale. So presentation materials, PowerPoints, demo environments, that sort of thing. You're going to need someone for document support, These are for service agreements, legal approval, pricing. The official paperwork needs to be in order and on point. When a client is ready to sign, you need to have papers they can sign. A support person to have that ready for you is crucial. And you're going to need a sales engineer. This is a person who is going to demo the product comprehensively and in a way that addresses all the client's wildcard requests as the client is telling you them. A good sales engineer will know the product or service front to back and relay it in a bite-sized way to a client with high gloss and sheen so that buying from you is an easy decision. Last thing you're going to need is for onboarding and training. So once you sell something, you've got to transition it over and hand it to someone that can actually put it into place and train the client on what theory looks like in practice. Training person, setup person on the back end is going to be crucial to get your sales over the line. Once all these support pieces fall into place, then you can get a sale done and in operations, at which point it's operations staff to worry about. So you can engage after that piece, but getting it over that first line is important. And with these 5 pieces of the sales puzzle, you will win more than you lose. Your revenue is going to go up considerably, as in double digits, and losses will be less detrimental. If a mistake is made, it will be spread out and softened among a team. If someone makes a mistake, you, as the chair, can apologize without losing face and correct without losing the deal. If you have no support and you make a mistake, then you can only appeal to the mercy of a client, and clients are not merciful. Remember, you are a pleb. No one is bursting through the door to save your hide. You are on your own. So if you want success in sales, you need to assemble your own team, official or not, to help you out. Thank you for joining me. Please come back and explore the corporate world from the standpoint of a common worker pleb at any time. See you soon.